Mic check. Let's see. Looks like this is working. Alrighty. Oh, it looks like we're gonna start the stream out with Dresden in just a second. My little boy. Oh, you want pets? All right, let's get you on camera. Oh, baby boy. Yeah. Thank you, little boy. You can have my check. Go ahead. I'm gonna just put it on painting for a second. Having a slight nosebleed at the moment. Alrighty. Okay, that's working. Let me just get my palette out. All right, let's make sure everything looks like it's working. Okay, everything looks like it's working. Great. Hey, Don Lee. How you doing? Good to see you, buddy. Uh, I will have my face on camera in a few minutes. I'm just dealing with a little nosebleed. It's not a serious thing, but don't want that on camera necessarily. I think it might actually be against TOS to show that, if I'm being honest. Banned for excessive gore, right? Yeah. But yeah, I um I suffer from bad allergies, and consequence of that is that sometimes, yeah, this happens. Just bad timing. Oh, that's a good idea. Just change my category to Mortal Kombat. Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Absolutely, that won't be a problem. I wonder if I could do that, like paint something from a video game and put myself in that category. Oh, I wonder if that's allowed or not. If I what's it called? If I paint someone in a hot tub, can I put myself in the hot tub category? All right, I was using the wrong. Yeah, I was muted. I had the wrong thing unchecked. Damn it. All right. I was saying the hot tub idea is funny because I'm really not the content they're there for, that's for sure. I had my OBS set up, and since I moved to the new computer, I have it working, but there are little things that I don't have set up properly. And gets in my way sometimes. Or messes me up, I should say, rather. All right. Alrighty. How you doing, Don Lee? By the way, anyone who's watching, Don Lee is a streamer on Twitch. He's an artist that's digital art, um, fun pop culture stuff. He's got some cool Christmas merch out. You should check it out. Doing all right? Good. Oh man, I thought this would be, I didn't think I'd have to clean up too. Darn it. This is, all right, let's get the razor blade out. Mm. You got plans for the holidays? You going out of town or anything? Yeah, right. Darn it, so past self. Why didn't you clean the palette for me? I honestly, I thought it. I didn't think it would be dry. Is the thing. I thought it. I had it put away, so I didn't. But I didn't put it away the night of. I put it the night after because I'm stupid. Nah, I was planning on painting. I just didn't get around to it. But yeah, um, I just thought it would still be wet. Oh well, this is just part of the process. If I started selling my paintings and everything, I was going to say I'd have all of this ready before I started streaming, but I wouldn't. It just might always be wet if I'm always painting. That would be the only difference. Like if I didn't have to work at work, then this might never dry, but that would be the only difference. Alrighty. Man, that part is overexposed like crazy. Jeez. Usually, I don't, if I'm painting something dark like this, I won't have the white page behind the palette. But because I'm swapping through things a lot right now, I just have it there. But yeah, usually I try and match my palette to my painting, more or less. It doesn't have to be like one to one, just ballpark, you know. But yeah, the camera clearly does not have the dynamic range to pull this off. Yeah, you feel like you want to bump up the contrast on this one probably, just because the cam isn't being nice to it. Yeah, let's see. What can I do real quick? Uh, do that, which arguably makes it look worse. But hold on a second. Let's um let's just add another color correction. Okay. And we will bring up the oh, it doesn't have okay. Okay, this can't fix it. I'll have to do it the other way. Yeah, no, that's why I added a second filter rather than using the same filter. But hold on, we'll do this in camera like this. And then I will just here. Does that look better? No, that looks worse. That actually looks worse. All right. Uh, that looks way wrong. That doesn't look right. All right. Yeah, the it's just struggling with this, honestly. That might be the closest. Yeah, I think this might be the closest I can get. Let's see. Be- Before, after. Yeah, it's slightly better. But probably as close as I'm going to get. There's just, there are some limitations. The cameras, you know, definitely have some limitations. But what I can do, and this will probably help, is also do this. No, wrong. All right, why is this giving me a hard time? There we go. Now, why is everything breaking today? Yeah, what the heck, man? Oh, is it mapped to this one now? It is. Oh, that's so dumb. I figured it out. I had to change my main, which of my two monitors is like the main one, and now it's mapped to the other one. It's stupid. Ah, that's a good picture. Love that. Face cam's working. Um, okay then. I kind of need that camera. Um, what just happened? Oh, it's coming back. There we go. Okay. Man, it's not my night for technical difficulties, huh? Man, shut up about the bit rate already. Jeez. Man, YouTube needs to get their crap together. Frickin' keeps warning me about my bit rate. Okay. Let's see if the zoom works this time. All right. This is a little, what you're seeing and what I'm painting, a little off, but you know, not much I can do. Josh Spencer Green. Hey man, how you doing? Yeah, the real painting is a little more, a little less saturated, a little more yellow, a little more nuance to it, less contrast, but it's about as good as I'm going to get at the moment on the fly, changing my settings. So I'll live with it. How's it going, Josh? What you up to? Doing all right on this end. Glad to catch you stream. Oh, awesome, man. Thanks so much for stopping by. I appreciate it. It's always good to have more people stop by. But yeah, this is so much darker than it really looks. That's unfortunate. This piece is incredible. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. That's very kind of you. Can't exactly take full credit for it, you know, but I do appreciate it. So I have a few pieces I'm trying to finish on stream. Now that I have a zoom in like this that I can do, I feel a lot more comfortable finishing paintings on stream, which is great because I wasn't finishing them off stream like I was supposed to. I just haven't had time, you know, to paint on my off time because I haven't had much off time lately. The zoom is great. Yeah, thanks. I'm pretty happy with it. I think it adds a lot, you know, um, at least for the perspective of the viewer. I just need to keep track of where I'm at with the zoom, but you know, whatever, technical stuff aside, yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. I also now have my camera set to follow me. uh, the camera follows, awesome. Yeah, it's fun. I was trying to set that up so that I could have it follow my hand, so the zoom could pan with me as I moved around the painting. But I couldn't figure that part out, so instead it just follows my face. But you know, it's all good. It does allow me to get the camera window smaller than I used to be able to do because now it follows me. So I don't have to, you know, choose between making myself really, really small. Yeah. I wish I could take credit for being like super smart about it, but you know, I didn't come up with this, obviously. Paint your face on the back of your hand and tell it to also follow that your face. LFMO. Yeah. Oops. I don't know why AutoMod. Uh, apparently the AutoMod is just a little what's the word I'm looking for? Overly sensitive. Yeah, no, I thought about doing that, but we'll see. If I was smarter, I could figure out how to tell it to follow. Like I could train it on my hand, and then it would always follow my hand whenever it saw it. But I'm not. So that would be dope as hell. Yeah, it would be. There's a way of training it. I just don't know how to. You know what? It's one of those things where if I'm being honest, maybe I shouldn't say it if I was smart enough. I'm just joking around. I don't think any of, you know, I'm not smart enough to create it, but I'm smart enough to use it. It's just a pain in the ass, and I'd have to learn how to do all that stuff. And just don't have the, you know, patience for it, really. That's fair. Yeah. Actually, I'm actually trying to put together a YouTube video. I'm hoping I can film it this weekend. Um, and publish it, edit it and publish it next week or something. I have there's a technical thing that I've been working on, and I haven't found any good solutions for what I want to do. But I've kind of come up with a solution for myself that kind of patchworks things together. So I want to take that and put it into a YouTube video for other people because I think it'd be, you know, beneficial for some people. Donnelly says to do that, you know, that also means jumping into the internet rabbit hole to figure out where to get the instructions and all the distractions that go along with it. Oh, absolutely. That's what happens all the time. I mean, that's what happened with me, even with the face thing, right? Like I was looking for motion detection and found out how to do face detection instead. I also found out how to do like an animated, they call it lower two thirds, but it doesn't work for some reason. So I have to figure out why it's not working so I can have little titles that like, loop through and so on. Um, but it's not exactly like high priority. So took a bit of a back seat. But yeah, absolutely. And that's exactly what happened with the thing that I'm trying to put the YouTube video I want to put together. I also fell down the rabbit hole and went through all these different Reddit channels and did like a ton of research trying to find a solution to this very, very specific problem that I have, which I don't want to talk about until I put the video together. But yeah. Animated lower two-thirds for your cam sounds like something for the hot tub stream. Talking about, haha, very funny. No, it's called lower two-thirds because it animates on the two-thirds of the window. But yeah, it's just a way of putting like uh titles that like, um animate through, that's all. But yeah, funny. Hot tub stream. Yeah. Now we were talking about maybe I should paint someone in a hot tub and then I could put myself in the hot tub category. um, Paint yourself painting yourself in a hot tub, right? Yeah, let me just take some photos of myself first for reference and Photoshop on a better body, and then I'll do that. Little bronzer, hit the tan bit. Yeah, exactly, right? Just for a solid base, I'm gonna do one of those those paintings. Have you ever seen those paintings of Trump where he's like super muscled? He looks like, Rambo or something. I'm gonna do one of those of myself in a hot tub. Use a Henry Cavill Witcher pic of him in the wash tub, stick your head on it. Yeah, right. That's funny. Maybe I'll do that one day for the fun of it. Making some foods back shortly. Yeah, no problem. Enjoy your food. Oh shoot, you can't even see what I'm working on right now. I'm working on the ear. See, that's the one part I hate about this zoom feature. I have to keep track of it all the time. The lighting on this is so good, though. I appreciate that. Unfortunately, I do think that the camera is making it just a little too dark and saturated compared to the original. But you know, whatever. But the lighting is still the same. It's just a little overly. The camera just can't capture the range, the dynamic range that's happening right now. But other than that, it's the same. Nope, that is too light. This originally I did this for Halloween, but like I said, I planned on finishing it, but never got around to it. The tone shifting upwards has a campfire energy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, like I said, I did this for Halloween. I just could never, just don't have the free time. Like, I just haven't had the free time to paint lately. So, man, ears are ridiculously complicated. I feel like the overall design of ears is overly complicated. I'm talking about the outside, not like how they work. I'm just talking about like the purely like outside part of it. Small, fleshy labyrinth, in my opinion. Yeah, yeah, a little bit of that happening for sure. All right, now it's going to be the fun part. I'm going to try and finish the eyes, or at least most of the eyes. You've always been a fan of how animation work reduces them so well for development economy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, maybe I shouldn't say the eyes, the face in as a whole. Let's tackle some of this. Okay. I don't know if this is the right brush to grab, but it's a close brush to grab. And I know it's a good brush, so I'm going to grab that right now. I'm going to use a new brush. See, this is what a new brush looks like. This is what the brushes I've been using lately look like. Yeah. There's a reason I've been struggling to get some of those details in there. uh, yeah. Yeah, I've been just kind of stretching my brushes a little bit lately. I actually bought some really nice brushes and I opened the package they came in, looked at them and went, "Wow, those are nice." And put them down and never touched them again. I plan on it, of course, but yeah. Um, I didn't want to switch midway, I guess. I don't know. The crazy thing is with a really new like um, you know, uh clean tight brush that you can get all the hairs go together and everything. You can use a much larger brush and still go in there and get all the detail because you can just whenever you need you can just like use the corners and dig in kind of thing and cannot do that with a brush that's splaying. Having said that, splayed brushes have a lot of utility uh, if you want texture and so on. It's very, very useful. Just have to know what to use them for. One of the things I love in painting, and it's sometimes counterproductive, um, but there are these moments in painting I love going in there and like really getting in all the little nuances, all the not just detail, but sometimes it's a thing of like getting the the edges just right, all the softness, all that sounds like good stuff, right? Like you should probably want that all the time. But sometimes it's overkill. Like there's a lot of times where it's just no one's going to see it, it's too small, or it's too nuanced, or something else, and it's just not going to matter. So, you know, or sometimes it's even detrimental to the piece, like having less nuance, having, sometimes is even better. And it's hard to not show off, you know? Like I want to show off my skills, when at least when I have them. Yeah, it's a constant battle in the brain happening through a demonstration of talent in lots of fields. Oh, absolutely. I can't. I've seen this so many times. Because I'll watch like compilation videos, and you see people like the one I see a lot is like people racing. Like they'll do like whatever motocross or anything, and they try and do like they go to show off at some point, and they clearly have the skills, right? Like it's not a question, but they go to show off, and it's like, okay, that's cool, but you're in a race, you're not in a demonstration right now, and you just fucked yourself. Because so much art is as much of ourselves as it is for the observer. Oh, for sure. For sure. It absolutely is for ourselves. I, th- you know, so I'm trying to get my paintings out there more. These are all for, well, most of these paintings, like 99% of them are for sale, right? Um, so I've talked to people who, they deal with sales, and they're like, trying to give me advice on how to market my paintings. And they're like, who is your, like, who is your clientele? What's your market? Like, who's your market, right? And I'm like, me? And they're like, all right, well, that's not very helpful. Where does your market hang out? I'm like, in my room? I don't know what to tell you. Like, you know, I don't know who's going to like my paintings. I like my paintings. I paint them for myself, and I hope others like it as well. Target demo, yeah, absolutely. I just don't know how to do any of that stuff. Yeah, this is where consciousness meets consensus. Being a mindful artist means letting a target demo develop itself without chasing a consensus. Yeah, yeah, I guess. Um, it's you know, I don't. I feel like trying to chase a demo or trying to chase a market of any kind is, I don't know. I feel like with a few exceptions, because there's always exceptions, but generally, if it's not, um, if it's not like genuine, um, when it comes to art, not like, you know, soda. I'm talking about art here. Yeah, if it's not genuine, it just doesn't. It just doesn't work long term. People can tell because people are passionate about things. At least that's the way I see it. I could be wrong. Agreed. Yeah. You think the consciousness versus consensus, a lot of authenticity versus trending styles? Yeah. Like I said, there obviously there's always going to be exceptions, but I think one thing that people misconstrued sometimes is that like some people will find a trend and they'll go after it and it'll be successful. But it's a combination of like, yeah, they went for something trendy, but also it was something that they are genuinely interested in. And the reason they knew about it as a trend is because it's something that they're, you know, plugged into kind of thing. So I know I've been talking about this YouTube video I'm trying to like set up and do, but after that, I have a few ideas of like TikToks and like shorts that I think would be funny. And I don't know if I'll get around to them. I really hope I do. But it's all in my circle of like not just knowledge, but like the reason I see that as being funny and so on is because it's all the stuff that interests me. So, obviously I have no way of knowing that any of that will even be a hit, but it doesn't matter. I'm doing it because I find it interesting. And detail like the lips sometimes, so frustratingly small and hard to do. Like what's his name? Andrew Kadima. He does all these art like YouTube not YouTube, Instagram videos where he like does these different art challenges with different paints and stuff. They're fun. I mean he's a great painter and I think his videos have been successful because clearly that's something he enjoys doing. Best case scenario is you produce content that speaks to you and finds an audience that grows around that message, for sure. Which with developed talent like yours is likely to find physical expression in the following. I hope so. I appreciate it. I mean, I'll put it this way, like ultimately, and this is something I would, I'd point out to anybody. Um, you could be the like worst artist in the world with no talent, no nothing, like absolutely nothing, right? If you are consistent, pursue it, and get it out in front of enough people, you can find an audience because there's enough people out there that will like anything, right? Like anything that exists, there's a certain amount of people that will like it. The issue is finding those people and getting those people to see it. The better, quote unquote, better you are, which in art is a, you know, difficult thing to evaluate, but the better you are, the bigger that pool grows, right? So it's not like it's worthless. And honestly, artists, you know, I don't feel like I don't know a single artist who gets better to grow their audience. They're doing it for themselves always. But I'm just trying to give context to what I'm saying. Hey, Creative Fit, welcome. Good to see you. How you doing? Not too shabby. Good. Glad you're doing well. So I broke down and grabbed a new brush, although ironically I didn't grab one of the fancy schmancy rosemary brushes I bought recently. Um, but yeah, I was struggling on this painting and I was just like, man, I'm just gonna grab this. I feel like I need it. By the way, for context, can you guess which one's the new brush and which one's the old brush? Feeding our snake. Nice. What kind of snake do you have? I had a constrictor at one point. I don't know if it was technically a boa constrictor or not. It was. I was a teenager. I don't remember that well. And I didn't have him for that long, unfortunately. Just got my wife some new palette knives. Nice. We have a corn snake. Are they poisonous? I'm not familiar with corn snakes. Or venomous, rather. No, but they don't eat corn either. For some reason, I didn't expect them to eat corn, but. What kind of palette knives did you buy? What brand, if you don't mind me asking? No, not you don't feel obligated to share, but I'm just curious. I'm not sure you don't use palette knives. Fair enough. I wish I could do a whole painting in palette knives, and I know technically I can. I know people do that. I just can't get the control and nuance I want out of a palette. I want out of a palette knife. I feel like those what's it called? I have those like paint pushers or movers or whatever they're called, the silicone things. I feel like those are kind of an in between palette knife and brush. And even those I can't quite get the like nuance I really want, like the subtle control over things. Yeah, yeah. This is the camera. It's at a severe angle. If you're curious, I can show you what it actually looks like without the filters on it. Yeah, so far this is the best setup I've figured out for the camera. Um, Nothing's perfect, but this is the best I've been able to figure out. Getting trim and proper, all snazzy around here now. Feeling like there's a velvet couch around the corner to get cozy. Okay. Do people still have velvet couches? Is that a thing? Maybe still's the wrong word. People ever had velvet couches? Is that a real thing? Other cameras following as well? Yeah, yeah, yeah. The great thing about that is it allows me to have I can have the window, the square that it's in, um much tighter, and it still, tracks me. So it allows me to what's it called? You know, show more of the painting and still stay in frame uh most of the time. Is it an Insta 360? No, it's not. Um, no, it's not at all. Here, let me show you real quick. So this is the face cam. It's a 1080p Logitech 920, I think it is. It's an old camera. I've had it for years. There's a plugin. It's a face track plugin. And then here is the painting, right? Let me show you what it looks like without the filters on it. Yeah, the the angle on it is severe because it's right up here. So what a difference. Yeah. So stop that. Why are you clicking around like that, stupid camera? Okay, it just can't track me over here. It's too far. All right, so I use oh yeah, no, I want that. I use a distortion tool to distort it, and then I tried to color correct it. Um, and then for this camera, it's just there's a plugin. It's like Face Tracker or something. And then for the zoom's digital. There's a plugin that lets it track your mouse, and so I set that up. It's just not that smooth with my little touchpad thingy. Hold on. There we go. So yeah, if you ever are curious, you're welcome to message me or ask about it. I'll try and find the links. But I just went to OBS's forums. They have a section there for plugins and stuff. Yeah. And if you have an NVIDIA card, a graphics card, a new one, yeah, it has to be a newer one. And by newer, I mean, I think it's the 260 or newer, which isn't that new. Um, they have some extra plugins to help with this stuff too. So I would do a video on how to how to get into streaming or how to set up OBS and all that, but like, man, I am not the expert on it. I just kind of fumbled my way through. There's so many, there are other people out there that are like actual experts that I would be basically like pointing to. Hey, Donley, welcome back. How's your dinner? Good? Good. Whenever you say you're making yourself dinner, I just naturally assume tacos. I know that can't be true. Like, you can't possibly have tacos all the time, but yeah. What have you done? She's a monster. That's funny. She's a monster, apparently, is bullying. Yeah. Donley, you have a knack for that, man. Literally, they should hire you to test, their auto mod. Like a game tester, only an auto mod tester. Hey, Dan the man, how you doing? Good to see you. I hope that message hasn't been there for too long. I have two chats open, and it can sometimes be hard to keep track. But welcome, welcome. It's good to see you. How you doing? Uh, Donley says I don't get bopped on other streams. I guess we got an auto dynamic duo thing going on. That's funny. So they probably need to hire both of us. Sure, I'm down. I'll be honest. I never expect to make a living as a YouTuber because, like, I don't feel like I have the personality for it and everything. But I will absolutely sell out if the option is presented to me. I don't mind. We can be sponsored by Raid Shadow Legend. I'm down. Danaman says doing okay. Had a molar removed a week ago and ended up with a dry socket, and it's quite painful, but got meds, so I'm managing all right at the moment. That sounds unpleasant. That sounds really unpleasant. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I've never had a molar. Actually, I've never had a tooth removed, but I'm going to eventually. Creative Fit, got to head out. Have a good stream. Oh, no problem. Have a good night. See you around. I guess I should have looked. I don't know if this Sunday is Christmas Eve? Maybe? I don't remember. Um, Might not stream Christmas Eve. If Sunday's Christmas Eve, that I might not stream Christmas Eve. Normally I stream, you know, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Sunday. But yeah, I might not stream if Sunday's Christmas Eve. You believe Monday is Christmas Day? Yeah, that would make Christmas Eve. Yeah, I don't think I'll stream Christmas Eve. Not that personally I care. Um, but yeah, me and Michelle are doing something. I can't remember if it's for Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. Um, yeah. You feel me? Well, I mean, to be fair, I am Jewish, so it's, I didn't really, it's not really something I grew up with too much. You hold no judgment for those who do, but just kind of doing whatever on those days. Yeah, no, I get that. Like I said, Michelle celebrates Christmas, and obviously I celebrate with her. I think we have. Can't remember if it's Christmas Day or Christmas Eve, but I think it's Christmas Eve. We're going out. I don't know. Maybe Christmas Day. I can't remember. All right, this part's very delicate. Uh, Dan the Man says, turns out jawbones taste like the smell of burnt hair. I didn't want to know that. I'll be honest. Interesting. Man, the smell of burnt hair is. When I was a kid, I like to play with lighter fluid and what's it called? And lighters and stuff like that. Um, so yeah, I'm kind of familiar with the smell of burnt hair. I'm also a hairy guy, so you know, I singed all the hair off my hands before. Doesn't take much. All right, now I'm going to take advantage of the fact that this painting was originally dry. We'll see if it works out well. It should, though. I like to paint wet into wet when I can, but there's definitely an advantage to painting on dry. Not quite as good as I would have liked it, but it's still helpful. Yeah, I have a what's it called? A cavity in one tooth. I couldn't afford to go to the dentist for years and years. And when I finally did go to the dentist just for a cleaning, um, the doctor was like, "Oh, so are you in a lot of pain?" I'm like, "I'm not in any pain." They're like, "Oh, because one of your teeth is practically hollow." I'm like, "Interesting." Um, and they wanted to remove it, um, but I couldn't afford that. So I instead went to a dentist who did a filling, which was very painful because it went really close to the nerve. Very unpleasant. But the basic consensus is that at some point, fillings usually don't last your whole life, unfortunately. So at some point, especially when they're that large, the filling's going to fail, and there's no more room to like drill back into the tooth to add more, to refill it or anything. So that tooth is probably going to have to come out entirely at that point. Whoa, Hollow Tooth, that'd be a good band name. Have you heard of Mars Express, French sci-fi anime? I have not. Is it good? Hollow Fang? That's fun. Yeah, that's a good name. Vampire metal group. We're forming it now. That's funny. Yeah. Oh, geez, sing like the Count. How many band members are going to be in the band? Oh, one, two. That's funny. Uh, oh, shoot. A three. Yeah, right. Okay, she got the crazy eye for a second, but it's going away. She can't keep the crazy eyes, unfortunately. Are you going to be around for movie night on Friday? Hey, Dunley, I will give it a shot. Trying to think what's going on Friday. Um, we'll see. I'd like to. I like your movie nights. It's really a scheduling issue most of the time. That's the problem. We'll see. Oh, I have a. We'll see. I have a treatment on Friday. We'll see how much I'm up for anything. The aforementioned French movie may be on the menu. Nice. You'll be able to swing by for a bit of the movie night. Nice. Dan the man. In case I didn't say it, I do hope you feel better. I hope you know, the tooth pain subsides fast. What was it earlier this year? I had surgery on my nose for deviated septum, and I had after the surgery I developed a like a fever and stuff, um, which is usually a bad sign. And the doctor claimed that it wasn't an infection or anything like that. It was just that I was not active enough after the surgery. Uh, Instead of just resting around and, trying to like sleep, I should have been more active. And apparently that caused it, which, you know, I'm not 100% sold on if I'm being honest, but the surgeon did a great job otherwise. Sounds kind of weird. I agree. Um, Josh says you have to set up some demo material for a new animator. Some mouse is in the way. I can't see. Hold on a second. Animator coming into the project summer 24. Nice. Yeah, the recovery from my surgery was kind of rough, unfortunately. I don't remember if I was streaming at the time or not. I don't think I was. I think I got back into streaming right afterwards. Not often the doctor says after the procedure, I'm going to need you to start CrossFit. uh, yeah. No, I mean, they do want you to be a little active. But yeah, I don't know. Seemed weird. Whatever. At least I can breathe a lot better now. Nice. Breathing. Not overrated. You know, surprisingly, it's not. I agree. Breathing, not overrated. One of the few things in life that is absolutely, without a doubt, not overrated. Under most circumstances. If you know, you know. You know? And the man says, if anything, it was probably too active, which led to the clot falling out. That's gross and unfortunate. Yeah. My biggest complaint was that the level of active that I was supposed to be wasn't entirely clear to me, right? So it's like, okay, how active or inactive am I supposed to be? Because, you know, the one thing I am not, actually not the one thing, one of many things I am not, a doctor. So I kind of I kind of need a little direction on this. Yeah. Dr. Leah do sound good though. I think technically it would be Dr. Goldberg. You know, don't doctors usually go by last name? Josh. Josh said, and I'm not going to approve. I'm not going to allow this because just for future. Because every time I approve a message, it allows it. It creates a rule for it. So I'm not going to approve this message. But Josh says, not in porn. Very funny. Um, Don Lee is testing out the auto mod here. Still works. Yep. It's because I didn't approve it. if it didn't create a rule every time I approved it, I would just do it, you know. Donnelly says if it didn't create a rule every time, I probably wouldn't be able to chat. True. You think it's fun? It's more fun that some of the chat remains a mystery to the world. That's funny. So what you're saying is Donnelly is just a man of mystery. Oh, mysterious. Yep, I believe it. One thing I love about painting with oils is that sometimes, uh, not even that it's always the best way of handling it, but sometimes it's fun to use the negative colors to like paint things in. Like I said, I don't think it's always necessarily the best way of doing it, but I do like the effect that it can give sometimes. Like when you're painting a tree and you put the you put all the leaves in, and then after the fact you go in and paint the sky back in and the holes. It gives it a very distinct look that might be technically inaccurate, but sometimes feels so, I don't know, looks so good, I think. There's a little bit of that happening with the lashes, not entirely, but a little. You dig that though? Yeah, no, I agree, Josh. There's something special about that. Like I said, it has a distinct look that I like. I just don't think it's maybe the most technically accurate, but I'm not here for technically accurate, you know. I'm not here for uh photorealism. I'm here for painting and art. I also like photorealism and all that, just not for myself. I don't want to paint photorealism. No, thank you. Nope, nope, no, thank you. Same for me, photoreal. It's not something I'm interested in either. Like I said, you know, I do appreciate the technical skill required to do photorealism, and when I see it, like it's impressive. I don't usually find it all that interesting aside from the like impressive technical skill of it. Um, you know, which I can appreciate on its own for sure. But yeah, it is lacking in the usually lacking in the emotional side of things. Also, the question then does beg to be, um, what's the point if if you're using a you know if you're using photo reference to make um, photorealism, that just means that you have a photo of the thing that you're painting. Once again, I'm not trying to take away from it. Everyone's choice is their choice. You know, this isn't like some put down. This is a personal feeling on it. But I do wonder, like, like, aside from showing that you can do it, what else are you trying to say? I don't know, like that the photo doesn't already say in of itself. Dunley says, I feel brushstrokes and lines are a way to see the human behind the piece. Yeah, I get that. Josh Spencer says, like the Olympic Games for me, it's inarguably a grade of talent involved in such an endeavor, but like I probably won't be glued to the seat to see it. Yeah, I mean, that's a little different, but I get what you're saying. I do. I agree. Okay, I need to adjust these big, this big shadow just a little bit. I mean, I'm gonna have to soak this brush to try and bring it back to something. Josh says, the demonstration is clear, certainly. It feels more like a translation of speech rather than a speech all of its own, like an interpretation. Yeah, no, I get that. I agree. Yeah, this brush is either dead or needs to be revived. Either way, I can't use it anymore. Or I can, just not clearly. It doesn't do smooth anything anymore. Wow. Okay, this part, let's see. I can go in and detail all this, but I'm not sure I'm gonna want to get all of it. Someone, I've heard artists suggest that you don't want to actually detail both eyes, but rather only one of the eyes, and have the other one slightly out of focus in comparison. The thought behind that is that when you're looking at someone and you're focused on them and you're looking them in the eye, you can't actually look at both eyes at the same time. It's kind of a red idea. Yeah. I mean, there's some truth to that, right? Like you can't look at someone in the when you look someone in the eyes, you kind of have to pick one, right? Will you detail the closest one on this one? Usually that is my go-to. Not always, but yeah, generally. that is the go-to. It kind of just makes more sense. And clearly I'm detailing this one too to a degree. But the degree may look very detailed now, but we'll see what it looks like at the end, right? That is way too bright. Odd question. Does anyone here pick the same eye to talk to for anyone that's generally facing you? Yeah, I'm not sure. Hey, Kelly, welcome. How you doing? I'm trying to think. I suspect it probably is unintentional. Because we have a dominant eye, but most people don't even know which eye is their dominant eye, right? So, am I dreaming in or are you late streaming? I mean, I started 2 hours ago. So, not late. Specifically talk to a person's left eye or what would be the right eye most for me. Just says interesting. Conley says, I don't usually think about it unless they have a lazy eye. In that case, it's a different battle. Oh my God, I have a story about a person. I had a teacher with a lazy eye. You're doing good. How are you? Kelly asks. I'm doing good. Yeah, or says and asks. I'm doing good. Tired. What's new, right? But yeah, no, all good. All good. Okay, I do have a story, a fun story about a teacher of mine who had so he didn't have a lazy eye. He had he was wall-eyed. So his eyes literally went like that, like and it was always hard to talk to him one on one because of that. It was severe. Like this isn't like a mild case, this was severe. Um, and but he was such a nice guy, honestly. Like I remember him so fondly. Um, he was such a good teacher and such a nice guy. But yeah, super wall-eyed. But the story, first day of class, I don't know this guy at all. No one, we don't know him at all. And he's doing roll call, right? Hold on, I'm gonna switch for a second. He's doing roll call, right? And he's standing in the middle of at the center of the class at the end, of course, and he's reading off names. Um, and when he gets to me, he says my name, and I say, here, and then he asks me. He like looks up from his thing right in front of him, and I am all the way in the corner, and he's like, and he asked me a clarifying question about my name, like, do you want to be called Goldberg or Leod? I don't remember what the clarifying question was. Whatever. And I'm like, yeah, I'm over here, because he's like looking straight in front of him, and he's like, yes, I know, you over there. Head straight, you over there. Oh, it was so funny. The whole class laughed. Unfortunately, it didn't, not trying to be mean. It was just so exaggerated. It was hard not to. Um, Kelly says, like when I'm trying to draw and you see general shapes and image of one eye focuses away, sees through the distance on the surface while my dominant eye is focused. Interesting. Yeah. He was. I don't know how he walked around. Like, I mean, when I'm saying wall-eyed, I mean like, eyeballs looking like that. Like, I'm sure he could see almost all the way behind him. Like, it was very, very pronounced. Yeah, I was also a teenager at the time. Not exactly known for being the you know, most forgiving crowd in the world. But yeah, like I said, he was a super nice guy too. Poor fella. Yeah. Kelly says full goldfish. Yeah, basically. I have some friends who are wall-eyed, and it's not that big of a deal. Or, I mean, you can see it, but it's not. What? It's whatever. You want to see what you'll look wall-eyed, by the way? Take a selfie where you put the camera like very close to your face and look up past it. Yeah. uh, yeah. Empathy hasn't usually been fully installed when you're a teen. Yeah, for sure. Kelly says, in the dark, I see way better with my peripheral vision. Interesting. I have very poor, actually, I don't want to say I have very poor night vision. I just have very slow adjusting night vision. Like my eyes take forever to get used to the dark. I have, however, used the pirate trick to see better at night. That works. I can say that for sure. Um, Kelly's wondering if they get more used to using peripheral vision to gauge movement and stuff. Interesting. I don't know. A few people are asking about the pirate trick. So the reason pirates supposedly wore um, uh, eye patches is not because they always lost eyes. I'm sure that happened too, but the trick is you have one eye um, under the patch, under the eye patch, and then when you need to go from outside into the outside into the what's it called into the ship, because they didn't have good lighting back then. So you go into the ship, flip the patch open, and then that eye is already used to the dark, and so you don't have to adjust. And then when you go out, you flip the patch back up on to preserve your night vision with that eye. So if, let's say, you get up in the middle of the night to use the restroom and you fumbling around and you can't you have to turn a light on, close one eye, put your hand over it, go about your business, turn the light off, and then you can see again in the dark. Kelly says I hated being blinded when I mean from playing outside as a kid. Yeah. You wish you could wear sunglasses. I hate contacts and photosensitive lenses. Yeah. Need to fix this eye. Speaking of eyes, I can see a problem with it. Sometimes it's easier to just like paint over a large part and then go in and pick out the pieces again. Um, Painting a big general chunks uh is in smaller chunks, I think is what it says. Yeah. Yeah. This is looking awesome, by the way. Oh, thank you so much. Unfortunately, I think I'm going to be calling it a night soon. By the way, if anyone isn't didn't know, Our Painted Lives is back, by the way. So yeah. It reminds me of that one Sergeant painting with puppeteers. Uh, yeah, I appreciate that very much. I don't know that I can even accept that, but thank you very much. Yeah, Kelly, I know you like Our Painted Lives. Yeah, they had a stream today, and they're going to be streaming tomorrow as well. Josh says I'm going to be heading out myself. Hope you have a great night. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Have a good night. Yeah, like I said, I'm probably going to be ending soonish too. You know, uh, work nights are rough. Yeah, they're a little rough sometimes to stream. You know, it's just you get tired after a while, or I do at least. Kelly says I was at work, missing the fun. Yeah, Well, at least you have the VOD to watch. Same friend sending you a message on Discord. All right, all right, Dunley. Have a good night. You're gonna watch that for sure, Kelly. Yeah. Yep. They're fun, and they're also going to be. He's going to be teaching another class soon. By the way, if that's something you're interested in, an online class. Oh yeah. So remember when I was making that D&D character? Well, I made two after that. Actually, three. Okay. It was hard to decide on a character. Yeah. Yeah. He's going to be teaching a class online. He's done that before, so they're doing a new one. You need to save. First class starts soon. So not sure you're going to pull that one off. It starts in like January 6th or something like that, supposedly. But he'll be teaching another class after that. So if you can't save for that one, next one. They might have a payment plan too. I know if I was teaching a class, I would have a payment plan. Actually, I take that back. That might be a problem. I would say maybe a small payment plan that happens during the class, but it has to. I would think you'd have to finish paying off the class before the class ends. Otherwise, I could see people abusing that. Unfortunately. I actually am. So I sell my paintings, and I don't have an online store set up. I just take like PayPal, and so on right now. But I do, if people want to buy a painting and it's too much for them, I am open for a layaway type of thing where they can pay over time. Uh, you know, that way they can reserve it and, you know, pay it down. Not that my paintings are like that expensive, but I do understand that like sometimes you just, money's tight. Like I get it. I've I've been hard up for cash in the past. I totally get it. Um, yeah. Although one of my paintings is a little expensive, but it's also a 30 by 40. I think that's kind of fair. For anyone who doesn't know, when it comes to pricing fine art, it can be very challenging. The the general, I'd say the most common way of pricing fine art is a dollar amount per square inch, or um, some people do it linear, um, not square, whatever. But roughly, that's the idea. Also, obviously, some people use centimeters, in which case I think they probably do linear versus square, although maybe the amount is just lower. And there's a bit of a sliding scale aspect to it because as it gets smaller, smaller paintings aren't actually always that easy or that much easier. So there's a bit of a sliding scale aspect to it often. You heard of square inch? Yeah. Yeah, it's a very common one. But yeah, there's a bit of a sliding scale and um aspect to it because like, if you sell a six, a 6 by 6 inch painting, that's often not, any easier than like a 12 by 12 or 10 by 10. Like that at a certain size, it ends up being harder a lot of times. So, uh, as it gets smaller, the scale kind of adjusts for a lot of people. And then as it gets bigger, the scale also sometimes adjusts because people don't want to price themselves out of selling entirely. And like personally, I have a minimum. Like I don't sell I don't remember. I don't sell any paintings for under $100 because it's just like at that point it's just not worth it kind of thing. Fake paintings look so satisfying to accomplish. Then being able to price it higher, yeah. Any tips on capturing the attention of wealthy aristocrat ah, aristocracy? No. Um, Don't hang out with me? For starters, at least for now. In the future, that might change. Right now, they don't know who I am, so you're not going to help yourself being around me. Under 100 is criminal. Yeah, like it's yes for an oil painting for how many hours they take and everything. Yeah, it'd be tough to justify, justify it. I mean, like maybe there would be a situation where I do a sketch of some kind, or like drawings or sketches, stuff like that might be different. But yeah, not an oil painting. It's just too much work to justify it for that price. Yeah, you feel that? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't want to sound like snobby or anything, but it's so much. They're just so much work that yeah. Valuing your time is important when it takes a lot of paintings. There should at least be a reasonable base price. Oh, absolutely. I just know that that base price, what's reasonable for people, is different. Everyone lives in different locations too. Like I'm on the internet, so people don't think about that stuff sometimes. It's like, yeah, what's reasonable for one person isn't reasonable for another person. It's just the way it is. But yeah. Yeah, everyone should value themselves. But I also really like the idea of making art accessible to people who normally can't like afford it, right? So at some point when I can afford it, I would love to do, some kind of raffle system or something for some paintings at least. So people can just like chip in like $1 and then have a chance of winning kind of thing. Because growing up, I couldn't afford an oil paintings of anybody. Yeah, sometimes fucking messed that part up. I'm gonna have to go back in and fix her lips. Although I did flesh them out a bit. And I'm gonna have to call it a night in like just a few minutes here. Yeah. It's late. I need a break. I'm too tired to function at this point. I'm gonna call it a night. Thank you everyone for stopping by. Josh, Spencer, Don Lee, Kelly, Don, who is it? Dan. Blinking on names right now. I think it's Dan. Dan the art. Uh, Dan the man. Yeah. And anyone else who I may have missed. Thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate it. Hey, camera, I'm over here. Um, I am not sure when I'll be streaming again. Definitely. Oh, shoot. I don't know. Sunday and Monday are both holidays, so I'm not sure. I'll have to figure that out. Definitely Wednesday. Catch me Wednesday. I'll definitely be streaming Wednesday. I'll post something about my upcoming streams a little more in advance than normal, so that there's some time. Anyways, have a good night, everybody, and have a great Christmas, happy holidays, all that stuff. Yeah, thanks for stopping by.